ILM, Pascal, ABB, Lucas was kind of a bit eccentric. Lucas and I, we spoke the unknown language. I made up a language for my children. My children and I spoke it back and forth to each other, and I did the same thing with Bill. I said, they're speaking like Chinese to one another on the court. Lucas would say, Bill, and I would say, no, whatever that means. We could say anything, but we understood that there were certain consonant sounds that meant something as far as the play was concerned. I mean, I just my mind is unique. It was kind of fun having it read his memory tricks. Lucas maintained that he had memorized the first column, the first 267 pages. New York, late night coach. 500 people who were in the studio audience prior to the program beginning, and then I'd have them all stand up, name 400 or 500 people, name all their last names. So I got to hear some machinations going on in this parade. He had twice devised the magic motion machine. Bankrupt terrible times had started again. He was lazy. Because Adam was asleep. We considered to be the smartest team ever. I guess if you looked at us individually, you had Phi Beta Kappa, Rhodes Scholars, people who go on to be PhDs. Phil Jackson, who became the best coach in the history of the NBA. That's where that team began, and it's a tough rebounder with great outside shot. This was a solid backup for Willis Reed. There are consummate name, which I was. And the Knicks hold for another trade that was shot in New York. The basketball world. Ready! November of 1971, the Knicks acquired Earl Monroe from Baltimore Bullets. Earl Monroe was acquired from Monroe's on our team. It was like you were bringing in nemesis. I'm an 11-year-old upset. Even though we got this great player, I just don't see it working. Earl has never been a team player. People never meshed with the Knicks. I've stopped him 3 or 4 times.
Seven Pirates! Seven Pirates!
Right.
Magic.
Check go!
Language. Is the most highly prized natural resource of the gift. Was known even at the schoolyards of New York, played in upper leagues, known like Jesus, like Magic, one of the greatest players of all time. This is a man who is one of the superstars of the NBA, never to join the face of the championship. That's it, man. A player. First time going into the big locker room. The Bush was the first one to come up. I guess guys who've been traded and whatnot understand the importance of making guys feel better.
Dave DeBusschere, who was particularly concerned, said he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I didn't know. And the players ended up just loving the girl.
Tried and the pros were just the oldest choice basketball, one of the best of all time. 1972, the Knicks had a strong season and made it to the finals once again. They were knocked out by the Los Angeles Lakers, who had the best record in NBA history, along with 33 games of streak that hasn't been broken today.
I guarantee you that the Bush are staying healthy. There's no way they can beat us. I guarantee we're going to beat them 4 in a row.
Just any for Jerry to talk.
Okay? Kid gets mad. That was already.
Here we go, set!
We dedicated ourselves for the most part. Back to the final. Get there one more time. It might be the time to do it because guys get to a point, especially older guys, there's no guarantee we'll get back there next year.
We were stronger this year. In fact, you will see best team played on is that 72-73 Nicaraguan team.
You know, North and Edison.
Which team was better? The 69-70, 72-73. 69-70 team, a personified team, but the 72-73 team is more talented. I think unequivocally we're the best backcourt ever.
Greatest jump shooting team ever.
Yeah, Lawrence
Let's go
Williams,
now.
Fisherman, Bradley Fisherman, and Horatio Jackson, Jerry Lucas coming off the bench. You're not going to do a lot better.
Team all over.
Ready?
That was the ball boy. Everything's here for this team. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is a championship. Standing in your
Ready?
Celtics team, best record in the league, led by Dave Cowens, John Havlicek, and JoJo White.
Always like playing in Boston. The parquet floor, the hallowed wall, all the patterns hanging from the ceiling, very intimidating.
Celtic fans are crazy.
There was a ring around Boston Park, which is kind of pedestrian ring. So we get to the court, we had a friend.
Ready?
I grew up as a Celtic fan, but out there coming to get you.
Ready?
The Celtics were the favorite. Surprisingly, behind a full team effort, the Knicks took out with 3 games to 1 lead.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's over. What's that, man? The Celtics rallied back to tie the series to force a Game 7 back in Boston.
Go from down 3 games to 1 to tied up.
Celtics had never lost an even 7-game series in Boston.
Everybody,
On the set.
New Yorkers, the writers, the written us up. And Jerry West in 7 games. You're not beating Boston and Boston live.
All these future Hall of Famers on one team, and who steps up for Game 7 in Boston? Being the dream amateur, second-year pro coming off the bench.
It's really big. It doesn't feel like that for him.
You know, once I get in Boston,
Let's go.
if you just don't do that, it's like putting the whole ball.
Cougar 19. Get up.
Final score 90%. One equal games. Next one, great try for the Knicks. Run off the corner into the locker. There's red. It's all right there.
Yes! Yes! It was the most emotion I've ever seen.
History of the Knicks. That's my signature game. Willis Reed, the last time we all got together, called it the dream game. The dream game. Me, Chelsea, you know, we all the way. We're in the finals, man. We're going to play the Lakers in the finals.
The Knicks went on to win the 73 championship in 5 games, closing out the series in Reform, California. The final buzzer rang at close at 1 a.m. at most New York, Mississippi. Until recently, a complete copy of the game didn't even exist.
73 is the forgotten championship. And in fact, I never seen the game because I couldn't locate a videotape of the game. And it was totally different than the 70 series. I mean, we did lose the first game, but after that was fairly easy. It was 1-4 in a row. You know, the drama of 1970 was coming out.
Flesh.
Ready, ready.
It's different than you're in LA in the forum.
There was times that time, man. Absolutely exhausted. It's almost like a letdown.
I'll never forget
60
sitting
Maverick.
at
60
the locker.
Maverick.
I had a TV crew, and it was when we went on the TV.
Hut, hut.
That was it.
Here, Brandon. Can we get you over here? Here we get Brandon over here. Well, it's not as great as winning it the first time, and I think a lot of people are surprised that we did win it. Not as much hoopla, pageantry, but just as much. Winning the world championship was kind of the hit.
Ready, ready.
If they won a world championship, it was by
18
mile.
Rattler. 18 Rattler.
People that death. It's my first time to win, you know, Bill. It's the biggest thrill of my life. I know you won 10 or 11 times, and you know what the thrill is like. But I don't think there's anything like the first one. It's my first one, and I hope I have the opportunity to get another one or so before I go.
Go!
Thank you. Everything better than sitting on the sideline watching the NCAA.
Go!
Really care.
Probably experienced it. You got to get out top the second time.
If anything I regret about that particular season, it's the fact that we didn't win the championship. We celebrated this next one.
Set! Ready?
You knew it couldn't go on forever.
You just hope it. I wonder to win. Yeah, it's just been you. Haven't seen it in 7 years. That's it. Right. There's no longer need.
When your tires
Come on, come on.
some
Set!
to go, what if the solution was right in your pocket? Introducing Pocket Air Pro on both sides. The compact compressor that goes anywhere to fill it up with air. Equipped with a 3,000 battery, that's enough power to get this car tire from flat to filled. And
Okay, break!
tires in no time. It puts the powerful full-size air compressor in your pocket.
Set, go!
Low pressure warning. Fill it up with Pocket Air. Motorcycle tire flat. Pocket Air Pro can fill that. Take it with you to class to fill it up fast. Whether inflating basketballs or soccer balls, Pocket Air can do it.
Ready up!
Featuring an advanced smart pressure sensor, it automatically stops when you
70
set
range,
the
70
pressure
range.
Simply set it and let it inflate completely hands-free. Pocket Air Pro is lightweight, durable, and is powerful enough to lift all flat weight. Even a trailer loaded with thousands of pounds of equipment is no match for Pocket Air Pro. Pocket Air is powerful enough to inflate this giant truck with an ultra-bright LED light and a large display screen. It's safe to use even at night. And with 4 custom air nozzles on board, it's perfect for pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Gas station in and out of water.
Here we go! Set! And up!
Anywhere with Pocket Air. Call or go online now to get the complete Pocket Air Pro system for just $59.99. It comes with a carry case, car charger, and a 90-day money-back guarantee. And for a limited time, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. You get it all
60 Eagle! 60 Eagle!
Remember, when your air's low, you need Bullseye Pocket Air Pro.
Ready, ready?
Order now.
457-917. That's 1-800-457-917. By Pocket Air. No, that's 1-800-457-917. By Pocket Air.
Set! Hut, hut!
ESPN and ESPN Plus. Gatorade, rapid rehydration with a specialized plan of vitamins. Make the most of Memorial Day and a week.
So what are you working on?
We're acting color.
Reading somewhere inside.
14 days, Memorial Day savings are happening now at Double Deal. Buy one, get one free. Chevron Technology System at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What matters to post-university people? People who pick Post want an online education that works on their schedule, so they can get a degree that can help move their career
Let's go now!
without leaving the people that Post behind. Are you a Post person?
Ready, ready!
Look.
Ready!
so I felt that I was still confident. Fortunately, I could see the end. I wanted to move on and make the impact outside of professional sports.
Ready?
I figured, well, maybe I'll have a couple more years
Go!
left. Well, I think November we go snapped up on the snap and back to back injury. Well, in the end, that's how I'm retired.
Here we go, here we go!
DeBuscher, he was really concerned about his health at that point.
He felt that he could give 100%, and his mindset was, if I'm not giving 100%, I'm not going out there because I'll be letting my teammates down.
Let's go!
That turned out to be my last year. I mean, I still love the guys. I still
60
love to
bison.
play, but there was something was missing. I've accomplished in basketball what I want to accomplish. There's many other things I want to accomplish in life.
Ready?
Rather did everything 10 to win 10 years. He was going to be 10 years, so he only did it 76. It was
Check go!
last year.
I got the news that I was traded.
Shut up!
Like I got shot. I thought I would end my career.
70 Timberwolves!
And then to be traded to Cleveland, wow, please. That's when I reverted back to Walt Frazier, not Clyde. It was devastating.
First 10 games of my senior year, I must have been averaging close to 50 points a game. I had a guy that had this column, and it listed the scores of each team.
Ready, ready?
And the column was, these are Earl's Pearls. That got cut down to Earl's Pearls.
Ready, ready?
After the 78 season, I went to the Nets, and Red Faulkner asked me to be his assistant. It was one of those times when this is a major decision to make.
Down!
And I still didn't play. They said, okay, so what I was like assistant coach.
Cowboy 80! Hut, hut!
So that was that.
Set! Trap 60! Trap 60! Ready?
When you walk around the streets in New York, how often do people talk about that movie?
Ready?
Well, anybody recognized me, tell me they were there.
Come on,
I
come on.
don't
Set!
think of that damn thing. The fans have perpetuated that legacy. They talked about that team. It's just a New York thing.
I compare them to the Boys of Summer. I think people still talk about the Brooklyn Dodgers of the 50s, and they won only one World Series.
They did, in fact, play a certain style to a perfection that is seldom if ever reached.
It was fun to watch that play because they didn't play as individuals, they played as a team. 5 guys working together as one. For a lot of people, it became what basketball should be. You look at the guys that I played with in careers, man, they become Christian and personal. See, they were guys.
Championships is something I'm sure would appreciate it. Probably like to smell that. He probably like to smell it.
Ready?
The
Break!
story for me is the 70 and 73 championship.
Here we go. Set!
It's only been done by this group of men
Ready?
and that one coach. You know, that's a great story.
Ready? the double. Mustang 19. Check go. Let's go now. And up. Set ready. Okay, ready?
Since I've been here the last 4 years, we've played the best with extreme physical toughness. Think about the run game.
Watch him speak out of the way.
Talk about the defense.
Everybody watch that. If everyone's forward, how would you help me?
The most talented team in the National Football League.
It's nasty, it's swaggy, it's gritty. It's why we're ready, set. Here we go, here we go. Hut, hut.
Already making moves, putting the rest of the league on notice. Welcome to NFL Live. So glad to see you. Tina Time, Peter Quick, Alphabet here with you for the hour. And we're glad to get you with some news out of Philly. 6:30. You saw a lot of stuff to show there. Agreeing to a multi-year contract extension with the Eagles after the team to the Super Bowl. Sirianni's proven he's the right man for the job. The Eagles rewarding him with a long-term deal. Certainly, we know the journey of Sirianni. It's pretty remarkable. He has been very successful with the Eagles. He's 54 and 23 in the playoffs. That's the fifth best record by a coach in NFL history. Fearlessly guy to Mitch Lombardi, John Madden, and Rick Flaherty. All four of those guys in the Hall of Fame, and a very good company to be in. Tim, how do you think Sirianni has gotten to this point in his
Well, I think first and foremost by being himself, because I think a lot of people would look at the way he does things and maybe say, well, that's not, what a head coach should do, what's a head coach should do in Philadelphia. But he's been himself, guys, putting good people around him. Obviously, Howard Roseman has done an excellent job with the personnel in Philadelphia.
Let's go.
There's been coordinator change.
18, Pioneer.
Excellent job of, doing some pickups, managing that. And so I think when you do that, you give yourself a chance to be successful as a head coach. You've done that, and you think about what he's accomplished. Just to be very fair to Nick Sirianni, Andy Reid was an amazing coach in Philadelphia. He was never able to win a Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni has been able to do that, and so I think when you put it kind of through that lens, the reward of his contract, and also the expectation that he's got an opportunity to continue there in Philadelphia, where it is not easy to please people. He's done an excellent job.
Yeah, and my take on it is, why shouldn't he get paid? Why shouldn't he get an extension? Everyone else did, and everyone else who has won in the NFL does get that reward. Now, the truth of the matter is, Nick Sirianni wouldn't work with every locker room. Nick Sirianni might not work with every team, but he's Philadelphia's guy, and that movement may respond to him. The local media had their way with him for the first couple of weeks of last season. There was talk after a win in Cleveland, the local Philadelphia airwaves, that Sirianni should be removed, should be fired. They responded with that incredible rip on their schedule, just winning all those games in the regular season and then just trashing everyone in the playoffs.
Ready?
Bottom line is this: Sirianni coaches the Philadelphia Eagles, and he could possibly coach the Philadelphia Eagles. Probably the LA Rams locker room would be the same. I don't know. Kansas City, I don't know. Minnesota, who knows? It doesn't matter. They found their guy. He works with them. Why should anyone else have a problem with him getting paid and extended on that?
I think can also point to specific things that he does with this roster that he deserves credit for. I think sometimes when we look at the Philadelphia Eagles and we say, well, this is Howie Roseman's success story. He built an all-star team, essentially, and that's true. But those players come with their own set of challenges. There's been conflicts on the sidelines. We've seen this happen. He is a player's coach, and those players in particular respond to him. He's also managed through adversity. Tim alluded to this. The Philadelphia Eagles this time last year, everybody was talking about whether or not Nick Sirianni would keep his job. The fact that he rode through that, oversaw the changes in coordinator, came out on the other side and won a Super Bowl, it is absolutely a testament to there. And the final thing, the fourth thing, just in terms of his contributions, the aggression he's shown as a game manager. Yes, it is easier to go for it on fourth down aggressively when you have the tush push, which is going to be a hot topic this week. And maybe you can have a single life of life without it. But not every coach would have been the case, as Sirianni's been from the very beginning in Philadelphia, and he deserves a ton of credit for that as well.
That's a great point. We'll get to more of that push situation a little bit later on. It seems like Sirianni has always had wavering faith in his players. Somehow that breeds amazing confidence. Makes sense. Another number to point out. One of 3 coaches ever to make multiple Super Bowls in his first 4 seasons, along with Mike Tomlin and Joe Gibbs elsewhere in the NFC. We'll talk about some of the fuzz and challenge. As the Cowboys kick off OTAs today, now, after falling short yet again in the playoffs, the Cowboys looking to Pickens to bring a new edge to their offense. Here's what C.D. Lamb had to say about Pickens' role in the offense. This is C.D. talking, not me, but I'm going to have to say it like C.D. Lamb said, we both won. It ain't no A, B, none of that. Just one. You look over there, you see one. You look over here, you see another one. What you got to do with it? Okay, break. These things look really good. All right, aside from acquiring Pickens, the Cowboys also brought in Dante Jr., Solomon Thomas, Devontae Williams, and Miles Sanders as free agents. Then they had a great draft. We got Tyler Booker, who's expected to start at right guard. That's key. Pass rush specialist Donovan as a Rocky, corner Javon Ravel Jr., and running back Jaden Blue out of Texas. But who's new when it comes to the draft and these great additions that they've made in the offseason? So that's big. But when we talk about all these things, I think the main one, right, is George Pickens. So, Peter, what do you make of those comments from C.D. Lamb about both of them being one?
I love it. And I'll say this, I've spoken to Cowboys sources over the last 2 weeks since that trade was made. It makes a lot of sense when you talk to them, bringing in Pickens. He's 24 years old. He hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can be. He's going into the final year of a contract, so he's going to be motivated financially. Let's go now. There's this albatross around his name that he's just a cancer in the locker room. They don't see it that way. They've spoken to people in Pittsburgh. Now, was there any maturity? Of course. He's documented it well. Late to practice, late to game, all that stuff. But with a motivation of, hey, you're going to go to the Dallas Cowboys, and you're going to make career, life-changing money if you won this season, that this makes sense. And they went through the draft inside and out, and there was probably one player that they viewed in the same breath as George Pickens at that position. And Terry went to the Panthers 8th overall, so they pivoted to the offensive lineman. But this was back when the draft pick that was possible at the wide receiver spot. As for C.D. Lamb, I love this. This is C.D. Lamb saying, I have no problem sharing the spotlight. I have no problem seeing some of my targets. C.D. Lamb had 73 more targets than the next leading wide receiver in Dallas last year. He's probably looking at this as relief. And you know wide receivers, they can be prickly, they can want their ball. In this case, C.D. Lamb showing a lot of leadership saying, no. It's the two of us. It's not just me and then him. I love this on all fronts, and I'm a Cowboys fan, whether it was said in May, June, July, in a Kyler Murray softball tournament or what. I like having this out there and CD saying, you know what, we're going to do this together.
Yeah, C.D. Lamb also was dealing with injury last year. He was banged up. He kept feeling like he had to go out there because there was literally no one else. I mean, how much of a massive nightmare do you think his wide receiver is supposed to be for Pickens and C.D. Lamb for opposing defense? It completely changes the way defenses play the Dallas Cowboys, which, to Peter's point, certainly helps them win. But to put what he said about them being both number ones in perspective, last year, when defenses played single high coverage, C.D. Lamb, who's, most season not playing with Dak Prescott, finished 4th in receiving yards per game. George Pickens was 8th league-wide. So they only have 2 top 10 receivers versus single high. Defense coordinators aren't stupid. They are not going to face a lot of single high coverage this year. And you can see how that helps everyone. They face more 2 high shells. It opens things up underneath. You get lighter boxes for the run. You can
call a more balanced offense. We just see a trickle down effect not only for Lamb but for the other receivers, the tight ends, and the run game as well. So I think the net effect for everybody is going to be positive.
Yeah, listen, I think that we probably all agree that his talent is undeniable.
Viking 18!
Win one-on-one matchups, contested catch guys, the big plays down the field. It's really incredible. George Pickens, I think in many regards, he kind of put himself, in the upper echelon of receivers in terms of his ability to do those things. To me, this all comes down to, not it's unselfishness, because I would agree with you both on, CD's posture with this all. It's really about George Pickens. How is he going to be? Is he going to be a guy that he's okay when the ball isn't coming his way? Is he going to be, the type of teammate, even leader that you want on your team? Because he has not been that in Pittsburgh. Typically speaking, team from the trade, away, super talented guys, in the organization when they're young. But you do it if the guy becomes a bit of a we have been out of Pittsburgh. And let's face it, Dallas is not really that's been kind of what you wanted in terms of players not talking to the media a certain way or kind of fighting back towards each other or handling things the way that a coach probably wanted to handle those things. And that is my biggest concern with the George Pickens edition. It's not the stuff on the field, it's how does it affect everything else.
That's a great point. Listen, we know we've created the field what everybody's saying here. The other thing, too, is we bring up because of this show, Dak Prescott should be healthy. That's everything. When you saw how the Cowboys last season, they didn't have their quarterback. So, him with CD and Pickens in this offense, plus improvements in other areas, I think it at least makes the offense much better. All right, we're just getting started on NFL Live. A lot more coming your way. Pete Carroll has been busy this offseason building his new look Raiders. 6 rounds to hear why Peter thinks the new dynamic duo heads in Vegas. Plus, with all the new faces on offense, what should we expect from Drake May in his second year at New England? Mike Reese joining us to tell you a story about what they're talking about in camp with what they've seen out of Drake May this offseason. NFL Live is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. We'll be right back when he is. Go!
They say that AI is the future, but apartments.com has been using apartmental intelligence for many years with our Ladera Suite and your perfect apartment.
Come on.
Bed, two bath, AC, a barbecue pit, big microwave on top of
Ready?
Thanks for that. That's it. That's exactly what I wanted.
Here we go, set!
I'm certain it's level 5. Are you for infants?
I'm certain it's level 5.
Certainty matters, like the certainty of finding your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love, printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your friends, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
See, how do you do that? I spend hours finding the good ones. Trash. You should use Game Time, the easiest way to find what the best is for the best season of Game Time. Game Time.
Let's go now! Cup 19! Cup 19! Check go!
Big bad triple label.
Power Mando is now available in a spray. This innovative full-page formula stops odor and starts anywhere on the body. Long-lasting cologne quality scents men are loving this deodorant. It's the touchless Wi-Fi full-body deodorant anywhere.
For the best deals, go to shopmando.com.
After full of cleaner, they spend $19 with Fire Thermal Housekeeper. When you go to from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
Dragon 60. And that. Ready? Ready?
There's some easier ways where you can get up to 500 items in 4 minutes or less.
Here we go. Hot, hot.
Rookie move.
I was a rookie once.
Kevin Clark, aren't you Rookie of the Year?
That was last year.
Ancient history.
Stories that I could tell you. Here, pull up a chair.
Okay, I meant this rookie driver made that.
Let's go.
Oh, you need some more experience.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, State Farm's here to help, no matter how long you have the game.
Game. Oh, man.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm's there.
Day one, the Western Conference Finals is Tuesday night. Tomorrow, the top-seeded Thunder hosting the 6-seeded Timberwolves, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. Countdown for tips off our coverage at 7:30. Don't miss it. All right, we're back on NFL Live. Raiders starting OTAs today. Of course, the Raiders were at the rookie premiere. That was a whole lot of fun. Let's just caught up on the moves the Raiders have made to improve. Last year, a disaster with Vegas, going 4-13. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ritter combined for a 40 total QBR, with 30th in the league. So the Raiders bring in Pete Carroll. They traded for Dino Smith to be the QB. He's been spun from Seattle. He's got 11 go-ahead passing touchdowns in the fourth quarter in the last 2 seasons, more fun than anyone else. So no pass transfers. And then Vegas put their running back in the draft. Taking Aston Gentry 6 overall. Vegas averages 3.6 yards per rush in 2024. The franchise's lowest since 1994, and that definitely figures to increase with Gentry coming to town. You know, there's a lot to be excited about with this roster for the Raiders. So what do you expect to see from them, this new look offense for the Raiders this season?
Yeah, I'm really optimistic about this Raiders offense. I love the Chip Kelly hire based on what we've seen from him lately in college. Obviously, Ashton Jeanty is going to make the run game exciting behind the dynamic offensive line. But to zero in on something in particular I'm excited about, I think Geno Smith, Rock Powers is going to be an excellent connection. You know, the last couple of years in Seattle, Florida, Geno Smith was fourth league-wide in passer rating, throwing to his tight ends, second in completion percentage over expected behind Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got thrown to George Kittle. And Geno Smith was throwing to, a variety of tight ends. No one anywhere close to the caliber of what he has in Brock Bowers, who is just such a great contested catch player. Geno Smith is super aggressive, throwing over the middle of the field. I think that connection is going to be what we cover this past season.
You have to wait a long time to see that in real life. We're supposed to be here. Okay, I love it. I'm excited. Peter, how much of an impact does Pete Carroll have on building a new culture in Vegas?
Well, I'm trying to say the city. So I think if there's one team I would love to go see OTAs in person, it's the Raiders. Not because of my love for Vegas. I actually don't love Vegas. I think Vegas.
Vegas guy.
But I will say this. The juice. Like, I remember coming out to Seattle in 2010, 2011 years, and Pete brought in yoga specialists. The basketball, let's have competition, compete. Stuff we had never seen in the NFL before. He was 62 at the time. He's 74 now. What type of juice does Pete have? And I'm encouraged by what I'm hearing. I'm talking to the people in Vegas that Pete's never been more excited. It's all positive. It's all winning the day. Can he still connect with 21, 22, 23-year-old men despite being 50 years older than him? I wouldn't doubt it, but I would love to see it firsthand. And, Mina mentioned Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, it's not a charity. They're paying Chip Kelly $6 million a year to be offensive coordinator. Like, there is a lot of money invested in this thing working, both with Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, and, of course, a new GM and John Spivey.
have some evidence. We have video of Pete Carroll wearing receiver gloves already, out on the field. Like, I think everyone, he's already connecting, he's already, working drills.
Okay, ready?
And I the same thing when you talk about, like Chip Kelly and his influence. Like, he's there for a reason. But, much like Pete Carroll, really, a lot of the time, he kind of bases his stuff on his that whole compete every day mantra, the idea that you're going to think outside the box a little bit.
Come on,
Like,
set!
we're not going to sit in meeting rooms. We're going to walk through stuff. We're going to on the move because that's how people want to learn now. All of that stuff. So here's what I think. I think they're the worst team in their division, the fourth most talented team in their division. But they're going to be a hard out for everybody that they play because, as Peter said, the picture is most different in Las Vegas, and the competition is going to be rational. Not because anything's going to show up on Sundays.
How many of us said that the Raiders won the coach hiring cycle this time around? It felt like they did, right? But I do believe age is only a number. I think I just want to put something. The Raiders played the Chargers team on Monday Night Football. That's September 15th. It's also Pete Carroll's 74th birthday. He'll be the first person to win the game at age 74 in NFL history. So either way, it's a story. Carroll will be mentioned. All right, Spring League meeting. Tomorrow in Minnesota, another opportunity to convene and discuss a variety of matters. As we mentioned earlier in the show, the tush push. Now, some want it banned, others say it's part of the game. A vote that was supposed to take place last month but was tabled until now. Peter, what's the latest on that?
The expectation is Wednesday there will be a formal vote. Washington and the votes to ban it, but there's been a lot of talking backed off the last 2 months. Now, I'm curious to see the verbiage that's presented, and if they change things back to what it was in 2004 when you couldn't push somebody who's not having the ball in their hands. This is going to be interesting because I think the NFL is now employing their doctors to look at this thing. And Dr. Alan Sills, who's the NFL doctor, has come out and said there's an opportunity for a catastrophic injury. Here's that word. Are still in favor of leaving as is because what the Eagles have established when we look at it as a competitive advantage for a well-coached, well-disciplined team. The NFL office, just fine. I've never seen a push again, but aesthetic and health-wise. But I also think they have kick votes. There has to be enough owners willing to say, you know what, you're right, we'll point at it. Even if there's no statistical data right now that exists.
Yeah, even Goodell has talked about it before. Adam Schefter alluded to this as well, Peter, kind of like what you're saying. It feels like he'd like for it to be gone. So when that happens, it may be more likely than not that it will be gone. All right, another agenda item to keep our eyes on, potential reseeding of the NFL playoffs, not just giving division winners home field advantage, but teams with the best record. What can you tell us the thinking may be about this proposal?
This is proposed by the Detroit Lions, which is interesting because they weren't, they didn't actually benefit from this in any way besides just winning their division and getting a home game last year. But the Vikings lost, despite having a 2-3 record, they lost their division and then were bumped down to the 5 seed on the road, played in Arizona.
Here we go.
In a wild card game, and then obviously win as a win. The thought is that, hey, let's reward the teams in the conference with the best record. Division winners still get seen automatically, but for that home game, let's reward those teams. Now, I've talked to a lot of owners. I've talked to a lot of team presidents. I don't know if there's enough juice to change this.
Let's go.
They're going to get 24 votes out of 32 teams. I just simply don't know if there's enough votes and enough urgency to change this. Again, owners love the opportunity of parity, and owners love the opportunity of every year they have one more chance of hosting the playoff game. Now, the Browns have hosted a playoff game since 95. The Jets have hosted games since 2003. But who springs eternal? When you're selling season tickets, you can tell the fans that, hey, there is a chance you're going to have a home playoff game, even if we don't have the best record in the league.
Ready? 19 tight.
All right, let's talk about the potential conversations around the NFL and flag football in the Olympics. What do we expect there?
Yeah, the NFL, I worked for the league office for 9 years on NFL Network. There is nothing that they're hiring right now than flag football. And they were very instrumental in working with the IOC in flag football Olympic sport. The question now is, though, do we get NFL players? I don't know about that. The owners have to be convinced. Imagine there was a catastrophic injury. I'm thinking of Edwin Diaz, baseball class, running his knee. Imagine that actually got them. They lose NFL players before training camp because they were doing flag football get sports and pay calls from the end of the week, and it would be a nightmare. I don't know if the owners pay these players to be to play NFL football. Everybody's probably separating them. That said, the owners call high influence, and flag football is a huge priority.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like those two pieces of the league going head to head on that. You wonder what the players would think about it. Let's do it. A reminder, by the way, the 2028 Olympics are going to be in Los Angeles. The first time summer games for the U.S. 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Let's go to that. Actually, it was in Atlanta. Really cool. All right, let's make sure on NFL Live. When we come back, Brock Purdy finally struck gold with his new contract. But Michael White, Nina still has some reservations about how far this 49ers offense can go. Despite Purdy has helped. That's next right here on NFL Live.
Technology into people's hands, generation after generation, tool after tool, again and again. Authorized sales and service tools. It's straightforward.
Welcome to the show.
It's the one with unimaginable power. Real stuff.
And endless entertainment. The young trailblazers bring big speed, big swag, and big personality. My God. Welcome to MLB's Best. Players Best.
And NLCS rematch on Sunday Night Baseball.
Sunday at 7 on ESPN.
Here we go, set! 19 Lions! Ready?
Things get tough when teammates look to me to get bigger. I knew that I was going to step up. It's sweeter if it's harder to get what you want.
Set!
Hate that dirty old nose. Peaks, splits, and it always leaks. And it's way too heavy to carry around. It's time to get the brand new Pocket Hose Comprehend. Just turn on the water and watch it grow full size.
Ready?
Old-fashioned hoses get kings at the spigot. The new Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees. Just connect to the spigot and watch it pivot. And when you turn on the water, away it goes, shrinking back to the pocket size. And it makes it easy to carry and put away. Call or go online now to get the Super Light 25 foot Comprehend today for only $9.99. Order right now and get our 10-pattern thumb drive spray nozzle free. Simply use your thumb to turn it on.
Let's go now!
There is a strict limit of 3 per hour. Don't wait. Order now.
Order call 1-800-747-0229 or visit getcomprehensive.com. So call 1-800-747-0229 or visit getcomprehensive.com. Order now.
Ready? Ready?
The stage electric.
Here we go! Here we go! Hot, hot! Let's go! Ready?
Continues in Monaco Sunday on ABC. The exclusive right on Madden.
As a small business owner, Spectrum allows me to work on other things in the restaurant. The speed is there, it's fast, it works all the time.
Fast, reliable internet, starting at $40 a month. However you can first check Kayak to search hundreds of travel sites at once and compare hotel prices to find a great deal.
New Halo Top with mixins in every bite and countless calories.
They call me Tay.
wire fraud in this kind of company. And that's a huge statement.
Brought in the speed of our team. This guy got a lot of
Ready?
Looks left to the end zone.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70. Go.
About to be very, very
Mr. Relevant no more. He got his payday and earned every penny. Since Brock Purdy became a starter in Week 14 of the 2022 season, he has the third best total QBR in the league, trailing
Set up.
two MVP winners, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Three recent MVP titles alone ranks fourth, followed by Joe Burrow, who led the league in yards and touchdowns in 2024. So, Peter, you see those numbers. Brock Purdy still taking that starting spot. What would be your message to people still questioning this contract?
Well, I would first compliment not only Brock Purdy, but the agent was a great deal. $55 million average per year in new money for the first 3 years. That's 62% of the total contract. Rolling guarantees for 2029 of $181 million guaranteed. It's a great deal, and yet it didn't break the back of the 49ers, and it didn't drag on into training camp. If you look at this 49ers team, they've had contract issues with players over the years that it goes right up until training camp, and it is a gentleman summer for not only the fans, but for the organization, and it's every dollar's counted. And this one, Purdy's agent, Kyle Strong, has been with them in Santa Clara, been with them in Indianapolis at the Combine, called them up, said, hey, we're going to go get those in there. Niners have never done that. They said, since they bent on that, there's a lot of give and take, but this doesn't reset the market. It doesn't necessarily blow anyone's hair back where they can't sign any new players. And for Brock Purdy, he's earned every penny of it, and he's the quarterback moving forward without any promoter, any spirits that are going to drag in all summer. I would have to think that peace of mind is almost worth getting it done now for that number than dragging this on an entire year and making this a issue on NFL Live every single day up until training camp.
I think it was a really fair deal for what he's accomplished, and particularly what he did last year. This is the 49ers offense that lost their number one wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk, for much of the season. Their number one running back, Christian McCaffrey, for much of the season. Trent Williams, their stalwart left tackle, missed close to half the season, frankly, by the end of it. But contrary to how a lot of people think about this Niners team, they were passing at a really high level. 10th highest pass rate over expected.
Come on.
And yet, amidst all of this, I thought he played
18 Cardinal.
a little bit and what he really played given the circumstances. But I think it was really impressive. He showed why he has transcended other quarterbacks who have played in Kyle Shanahan's offense as a playmaker with his legs, throwing on the boot, scrambling, evading pressure. So, yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy is certainly deserving. All of that said, I am a little bit concerned about the lack of investment in the offensive line this year and moving forward. You got to make tough decisions when you pay quarterbacks this kind of money, and that is the one area where I feel the Niners have scrimped, and I have concerns because now that they're paying him all this money, they got to protect him.
Here we go, Shaq.
Look at this. I think there's specifications sometimes when guys come into the league and not early round picks and they produce at a high level. Or does it make sense to pay them on par with the guys that are making the most at their position throughout the league? And so you just look at what happened with Kirk Cousins. You look at what happened with Dak Prescott. Like reluctance to reward guys when they've been the biggest bargain in the National Football League for certain areas of time. That's been Brock Purdy. And so when you look at what happened with Washington, they would have been better served investing in Kirk Cousins. You look at the Dallas Cowboys, they would have been better served to reward Dak Prescott when everyone in the league knew that he could play rather than dragging it out. And I think for the 49ers to look at it, and this is a lot of money. To Peter's point, when you talk about $55 million touch average per year, especially in the first 3 years, but at the same time, like 4 years from now, 5 years from now, if Purdy's playing at the level that he showed he could play at, it's got to start. Like that's what happens with these deals, rather than waiting and making him, play on a franchise tag and then be in a situation where he is breaking their back, on his contract.
Yeah, again, congratulations to Brock Purdy. Incredibly well done by him. Working out, I hear Nina's concerns about the line.
to ESPN right now after the schedule release. 49ers
Ready up!
is scheduled next season.
Let's go now.
And now to the Patriots. You can see head coach Mike Vrabel there at OTAs. There in New England, he's looking to make his mark in year one. Great Bay Company. Of course, OTAs begin today. There's a lot to get to there. And now, welcome to Mike Reese, our Patriots reporter here. There's so much to talk about, Mike, but I'm really interested to know what are his teammates saying about Drake May's work this offseason?
So the long answer short, they're seeing more of a leader. At this time last year, Drake May was really trying to blend in, showing reverence and respect for the veteran starter, Jacoby Brissett. Teammates say this time around, May is really taking the reins. He's trying to take charge. And veteran receiver Kendrick Bourne's in. He sees more comfortability from May, and he sees more competitive spirit from May. And Bourne told the story of a recent practice when they were pushing the sled on the field, and May looked over in Bourne's direction, and he was imploring him to push it further, to see who could push it longer. And Bourne said that was one example that he's seen of a different Drake May this year.
We can't wait to see it all play out on the field. Certainly we saw those great flashes from Drake May, Mike, as you know well, and now he's got another opportunity to be a new head coach. So thank you so much for joining us here. Let's talk a little more about what we've seen out of Mike Vrabel. He spoke to the media today saying he's totally focused on this season, not last.
Somebody asked me, are you worried about what went wrong last year? Why would I care about what happened last year?
You heard him say it. The Patriots' win total over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook for this upcoming season is 8.5. If they go over it, it would double their win total from the previous two seasons combined. The Panthers, the only team with fewer wins than New England since the start of 2023. Their expectations pretty high in New England. The Pats currently favored in 11 of those 17 games in 2025 at ESPN Bet. They end up winning all those games. My goodness. Tim, you've really been the president of Drake May's fan club for a while. I don't blame you. It is well deserved. What are your expectations for him heading into year two?
They play great. I think we have to also put in context, yeah, we're celebrating the Mike Vrabel hire for the Patriots because his impact will be great. Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator. Josh McDaniels has been an incredible coordinator in the National Football League. That's a massive addition. But that's an interesting too, like with Drake May. He's smart, he's tough, he's competitive. That translates, and that translates when you're coached well to get Josh McDaniels. And then just in terms of the team perspective, you hear a little bit there in the little clips from the podcast. He's smart, he's tough, he's well respected because he knows how to lead. And there's just an element of that that's going to change the culture in New England from a year ago. And they're going to do it, I believe, in terms of how it's coached at a high level. And they've already improved the talent. I believe, as you said, I believe they have a superstar quarterback. It's why they were a terrible team a year ago. I think I saw that they're favored in like 11 games they're going to play this season already. But the expectations should be high because of the changes starting at the very top.
Yeah, look, I think last year you see decisions in game from Jerome Mayo's coaching staff, and you give us some night on and say that doesn't seem right. Check on Twitter, and it's all the people questioning, well, they should have gone for it on that one, they should have gone for it. You will not be questioning clock management or game management with Mike Vrabel. He is the very best in the sport at this. And he might have learned it from Belichick, but he does circles around Belichick now because that's how good he is and how respected he is. You also got his guy who handles all that back on staff from the Rams, who we had with him in Tennessee. And I think the Josh McDaniels thing is huge. You know, last year, Belichick and Michael Lombardi and a lot of those guys who were showing the door, they had their comments about the Jerome Mayo coaching staff and maybe the locker room and maybe it wasn't as disciplined. You can't question a Mike Vrabel locker room. You can't question a Josh McDaniels offense. At the very least, the adults are in the building and the adults are coaching these players right now. And you cannot question the skip on the role that these guys have. Between Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, you know you're in good hands. And you can't have everybody in the media questioning you Monday morning. They might, they will. But I think there's enough credibility with those two coaches that you say, okay, at least we know that these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, I've never met a bigger expert on the rule book than Mike Vrabel. He knows that thing in and out to the point that he uses it as a huge advantage in games. Let's look at the defense, though, a little bit. What do you expect from that side of the ball? How much pressure is on that side?
I think there's a lot of pressure on the defense because that's where they invested most of their money in free free agency. And offensively, I like their choices. We talked about the draft. I'm very optimistic about the Will Campbell selection. I think Kyle Williams adds speed, but they're young players. It might take a minute for Drake May to adjust to Josh McDaniel's very complicated offense. Whereas this defense, in my mind, kind of needs to carry the slack in the meantime. The way I look at this Patriots defense, they took a big step back last year because there were injuries. They lost a lot of talent. Now, looking at this depth chart, I would argue that they have a couple of duos that I would put up with any position group in the NFL. Starting with defensive tackle, Dylan Williams is their big signing, but Christian Barmore returning after a lost season due to health issues is massive. In case people forgot how much of an interior disruptor he was before he missed that time. And then on the back end, bringing in Carlton Davis opposite Christian Gonzalez. That's got to be one of the best man coverage corner duos outside in the league right now. So you have two very, very clear positions of strength to build around, and of course a great defense line and Mike Vrabel doing as well.
Yeah, I think we said wow when we were mentioning that the Patriots are favored in 11 of their 17 games. Right? That's crazy. Does it seem a little rich for you, or are you with it? What do you think?
I suspect it reflects the ease of their schedule, and I'd have to take a look at that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's optimism, certainly after last season.
Okay, we'll live with it right now. Optimism in New England, it can't hurt. We got a lot more coming right here on NFL Live. New faces and new ball, but is the pressure mounting on Trevor Lawrence? Here like this says it's now or never for the Jags franchise quarterback. That's next, right here on NFL Live. We'll be right back.
At AC, we know not all paint is created equal. So to do it right, start with exceptional paint that's designed to last. Only Ace has its collection of premium brands like Benjamin Moore, Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines, and Clark & Kensington. And your local Ace has premium service and quality paint that stand up to the test of time. With gallons of paint like Royal starting at only $29.99. And right now, buy a gallon of Clark & Kensington Royal paint and get the second one 50% off. Ace, listen up the hardware things.
Power Mando is now available in a spray. This innovative low pH formula stops odor before it starts anywhere on your body. Long-lasting cologne quality scents that are loving this deodorant. It's the touchless way to apply full body deodorant anywhere.
For the best deals, go to shopmando.com.
Bang bang, when you've got it, you know it. Introducing the X-Pack from Copperfield, our groundbreaking technology designed for compression support of your lower back and core like you've never experienced before. Engineered with our most innovative patent-pending advanced X compression system, the X-Pack evenly distributes the support across a broader surface area of your back for relief of lower back aches and pains.
The new metal is fantastic. I hear what they were hearing is support. It's neat to get up with something different about this.
A super lightweight mesh fabric, ventilated for unmatched breathability to increase airflow and release excess heat.
You have to try. You have to know because it's going to give you the kind of support and relieve the back pain that you have. That is
Refused fabric made with the most advanced materials for superior support and lighter than air comfort.
And just relaxing all the tension that you get.
Oh, that feels great.
I've tried a lot of belts in the past. Nothing like this. I've used their baggage. It's really hard to me what I'm doing right now.
Orthopedic design, alloy support and 4 built-in flexible stabilizers to help improve the life and promote better posture.
Usually when I have long triathlon, there's pain. With the belt, there's absolutely no pain. For me, it was like, okay, is this really happening? I really haven't felt anything like this before.
The all-new X-Pack from Copperfield, the most effective, breathable, customizable support for relief of lower back pain you will ever wear. Guaranteed for your money back. Get yours now at getxpack.com for only 2 payments of $29.99 or call 1-800-260-1929. Order right now and your shipping is free.
This is by far the best support that I've found.
You feel like, yeah, you conquered the world. It's life-changing.
The all-new X-Pack from Copperfield. Feel the difference.
After Home Alone cleaner placed for $19, we fired our old housekeeper. Home Alone tackled everything from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. We just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
The United Football League always left in the UFL regular season. It's time to turn it up a notch. All the nonsense inside the funnel, on the sidelines. We're seeing what you were seeing. Yes. Wait, postseason. The playoff first gets closer and closer to its finale. The United Football League doubleheader. Saturday, Renegade Showboats head home. You get the Stallions at 3 on ABC.
The industrial brake products you need. Great shirt for the ones who get it done.
Here is the balance with labor related facilities for just $3.99. Save on the first design portion. Marinara spaghetti beef sauce for free. Then cheesy all-grain and served on Vegas sticky tacos, breadsticks, big flavor, small price. Anytime, only at Rizzoli's.
It's important for me to get up in the morning, have a knife in my pocket that's going to allow me to pack a trip, load a trailer. Preparation is like the key to success, right?
Safe pass, friendliest, better spells.
Here's our Week 9 UFL matchup. Saturday afternoon on ABC, it's a doubleheader. Renegade Showboats at 2 Eastern. Then first place on the line in the USFL Conference. The Panthers taking on the Stallions. Both games on ESPN Plus. Don't miss that. All right, the Jags, another team starting OTAs today. Jags head coach Liam Cohen spoke to the media today, had this to say about what he's been seeing from his quarterback.
Mentally, he's done a phenomenal job. This guy, in terms of his work ethic, the what he's put into this thing at his own time, while he's here, the play calls, handling the load, all that stuff, I've been very impressed with.
I'm excited for Lawrence that he gets to work with Liam Cohen. He has a 52 total QBR in his career. That's the third worst of any number one overall pick since the metric began in 2006. Only Sam Bradford and Alex Smith were worse. 52 is not average, but the Jaguars simply expected something more, right? They took the number one overall in 2021. Now, you saw Travis Hunter's jersey at the start of that, and Trevor Lawrence has new playmakers on offense. He's got this new head coach who has been able to develop the quarterback. So how much pressure is on Trevor now to take that next step?
I think a ton of pressure. Just put it in this perspective. He's just 1 year older than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' path has not been easy. He wasn't the number one overall pick. Had a winning job. Paid off, other people that were vying for the job. It's a massive change at the coordinator position. And so, look, they surrounded him. Yeah, they surrounded him. But Trevor Lawrence has now been surrounded. He's been surrounded by good coaches. He's been surrounded by good players. And so at some point, it can't be like, yeah, you guys doing a great job. It's not going to play. Like, it's got to be, hey, he makes every single person in our building better. Like, that's what he does. That's what a franchise quarterback should do. He should make the coaches better. He should make the players better. He should just elevate everybody in the entire building. And it's at that point now. Like, it's to the point where you say, okay, it wasn't a great year that first year. Then it was a kind of a restart your second year. And then obviously we've had some change and we're doing it again. But I think we're moving it now. And we're at the point now where it's like, hey, prove that you can carry a franchise, because that is what you expect somebody to do when you draft them with the first overall pick.
Absolutely. Trevor Lawrence is the most important person in that building. Liam Cohen might be 1 inch behind him. And I love the fact that the Jaguars brass gave Liam the keys and said, you know what, we're paying you a load of money, hire who you want. Now, Liam Cohen could have gone the retread style and said, all right, well, I've got this 60-year-old offensive coordinator, and I've got this offensive line. Their staff is fascinating. Liam's 39, fine. So that's kind of what the age is right now, the young hot coaches. You hired Grant Udinski as the offensive coordinator. Grant is 29 years old. A 29-year-old offensive coordinator, okay? So let's get a quarterbacks coach who's been in the league for 30 years. Let's get a Tom Moore type. Let's get somebody who's seen it all. No. Spencer Whipple, who is 36 years old, is the quarterbacks coach. So after having a Doug Peterson and after having all the different voices in his head, it's almost like the Jaguars ripped up the script and said, let's just go young, let's be disruptors, and let's see if Trevor can work with this group. I don't know. When the rest of the league is singing a little bit, try to maybe recreate what Minnesota did for Sam Darnold last year with a lot of young, hungry, smart coaches in his head, as opposed to the older generation like before him, the guys who have been doing it for 30 years.
Hey, youth movement. I like it. We saw Chris maybe, or at least the aggressive approach, meaning that they took the draft when it comes to Travis Hunter, but a lot of focus has been on the offense, right? And let's turn to the other side of the ball, because maybe all that only works out if the defense can be good. How concerned are you about this Jags